Well, hello there. Glad to see you. Glad you can make it. I'm just reading on what had taken place in our last reading. We kind of ended it a little short because it's hot in the scholars' room, and it still is, so I don't know how far we'll get today. With that said, let's get something to drink, because otherwise we'll be parched by the end. Vincent! Vincent, are you around?
Yeah, boss. Hang on. Oh, boy. It's hot up here. I wish I could have gotten that darn contraption working. It'd be much cooler up here. Yeah, boss, I'm here. What do you need?
There you are. Hi, Vincent. Can you do me a favor? Could you get some elven mead for both of us, and also a glass of water? Thank you. All right. So, where did we last leave off? Oh, yes. Where did we leave off? Oh, yes. They were heading towards Baldwin's farm. Though Baldwin wants to chase after the elves, the dark ones. Elvin thinks we should start at the barn. To see his family, of course. Curious to see how this will play out. As the day progresses, Baldwin ponders what Elrond said. Either it was a dream or magic. Powerful magic. Well, it definitely wasn't a dream because there was no waking up from the ground or at the base of a tree, and his undershirt was wet for a better part of his walk back. So that left magic. But then why would the Dark Queen expend so much on him? Why did she have an interest in him? He who killed her Juragamo. And why would she say go south? Wouldn't she know his intent already? Perhaps the elf god is not so powerful after all. At least it meant she couldn't read his mind. But then, if that was the case, her telling him to go south, go in the direction of where the other dark elves went, well, that would mean she has a plan. What that plan is, who knows, but it means Baldwin is a part of it, and she is using him as a pawn.
Hold, what is it?
Holding his finger up for silence, Elrond and Tana get off their horse, keeping themselves low below the saddle.
What's going on? We have been followed.
Handing his reins to Tana, Elrond motions for both of them to stay. Then he is silently heading into the trees, back in the direction they came from. There is a moment of stillness in the air, before it is interrupted by metal against metal. Seconds later, it is quiet. Then, Elrond is coming out from behind a large oak, followed by Talon.
Talon, what are you doing here?
Hi, Baldwin. I've been looking for these two. Talon hugs and gestures with Tana, after which he then gives Baldwin a hearty handshake. When Elrond came to bury your family, telling me all that had happened, well, you can imagine my disbelief. Aye, but here you are, with not a scratch on ye, and if I didn't know better, I'd swear your beard is darker. There's no grey. Baldwin looks to Elrond and Tana to confirm, and both slowly nod. Shaking his head in amazement, he turns back to Talon.
The sounds of swords back there? Just two old friends trying to get the best of each other.
Aye, but it is good you have your weapons and your wits, as dark elves travel these woods.
Yes, we are following them.
Looking to Baldwin, Elrond corrects.
We are heading to Baldwin's farm.
With a bit of frustration, Baldwin looks to Elrond, then back to Talon.
And then we follow them to determine their plan.
Looking at Elrond with a bit of concern, Talon asks, What plan is that?
Either Baldwin is having dreams or emotions, or there is magic playing with him.
How so?
I saw the Dark Queen this morning.
As in the Dark Elf Queen?
Yes.
And your kin do not sense her presence, let alone her magic.
No, which gives us grave concern. What do you mean? Their village is protected against any evil creatures, not to mention the wards we have set at certain locations, which warn us of any intruders. Still, for the Elf Queen to cast such powerful magic so close to our home, and no wards to be triggered, well, you can now see how concerning that is.
Let me ponder on that, while we head back to the farm.
Do you mean to journey with us?
Aye, though before we get within seeing distance, I need to approach first.
And why is that?
Snoopers. Baldwin looks bewildered. Since the death of your family, along with you, there are those back in the hamlet waiting for Rufus and I to leave, so they could lay claim. Anger begins to swell in Baldwin.
That is my farm.
Aye, that it is, lad, and rest assured it will continue to be such. But ye not dying ever again. Well, the crate's a bit of a slip knot to get out of.
Did Rufus create the paperwork?
Aye, we just need Baldwin's handwriting.
Paperwork? Do you mean to transfer the farm to you?
Aye, but only until enough time passes so we can then pass it back to you. Figured we could say you were a younger brother.
And where am I supposed to live in the meantime? With us. This way you are under our protection, and you get to finish your training with Tana.
Looking to Tana and gesturing, thank you, Baldwin looks back to Elrin.
No offense, Elrin, but I don't know if I can live with the elves. And why is that? Is it our cooking? No, it is me. I know myself, and I will feel trapped like a barn cat. I need to find the queen and either end her in this curse or die trying. But you cannot die. Can you not see my frustration?
My friend, I know your heart's in pain, and it will not go away soon. In fact, you will feel this way for quite some time. However, traveling with me will do you numerous things.
Such as?
Finish your soul training, then on to other trainings like using a bow and staff, and other tools of my trade.
That'll take years.
All are silent as they look at Baldwin.
Which I have. Still, that's not going to stop me from searching her out.
And I wouldn't try. My friend, I cannot imagine the weight of life right now, but if I were to guess what I would do in your boots, I think I would be doing the same.
Good. It is settled. You and Baldwin will live and train with Talon, and we will help when necessary. Okay, but if we're out searching for her, and you, Talon, are not at the farm, who's to say some townsfolk would not enter my house and then make it their own?
Good question, but I think Rufus has that covered.
Come then, let us ride some more before we make camp.
Aye, I'll get my horse and catch up. And with that, the group continues to ride south, and when Talon rejoins them, he asks Baldwin to tell of his tale when he left his house, leaving Rufus in him, and how he's met the Dark Queen twice. When it is too dark to ride the horses, the group finally sets camp, with Elrin and Talon scouring firewood. And upon their return, Tana has a vegetable soup ready with elven bread, handing it out. Small talk ensues, with Talon filling in about Rufus's recovery and their sadness over Baldwin's family, all the while fending off townsfolk rambling about the land. Talon then goes into detail on Rufus's idea on saving the farm, but Baldwin is lost in his own thoughts. His lost love, gone. His child, taken too soon, and at his hands to blame. And now he has eternity to remember. If only he could take back his actions. If only there was a way to go back and not take that fateful walk to Jacob's farm. If only... But then, Baldwin's thoughts stop. The clarity starts to set in. He thinks about what Elrin said. Powerful magic. Was not the Dark Queen worshipped as a god? If she could move him from an elven hamlet to a waterfall, could she not just magic him back? Cast him back to that same day on the farm? He could then shoo away Jasper. He could then just go with his wife and child back to the house and have dinner, never to lose them. So many what-ifs. But what if he could get...
Baldwin. What? You seem to have been somewhere else. Sorry about that. What were you saying again, Talon? About the farm?
Aye, as I was saying, Rufus
Again,
started thinking
Baldwin
about
is
the
not
paperwork,
listening,
getting
as
ahead,
thoughts of getting to the Dark Queen overwhelm him. If he could get her attention, if he could get her to hear him out, but how? Nodding occasionally to Talon, barely hearing what he is saying, a plan starts to form. And as the next day of riding carries them into the evening, Baldwin works out his plan in getting in front of the Dark Queen.
Do you all smell that?
All stop their horse and take pause.
Yes. Do you think it is...
Aye. Let's tie the horses here, travel a bit on foot. Maybe then we can determine their intent.
Is it the band of elves your kin spoke of back at your home? Yes, but we'll approach only to gather information.
As silently as Baldwin can, he is tying the horse and following his friends as they make no noise amongst the shrubs and trees towards a group of dark elves. Talon leads them for over a quarter hour when he motions them down tucked behind some large bushes. And there, through the underbrush, Baldwin can see them, all around a small fire, cooking something on some makeshift spears. There is less than half a score that surround the fire, and Baldwin's thoughts of revenge start to shimmer. Thoughts of killing all of these followers of the Dark Queen would surely get her attention, and he would rid the world of more vile creatures at the same time. Then there is a hand on his arm. Tana is looking at him with a slight shake of her head, but it is too late. He has made up his mind. These elves who stole his family will get justice, and he will see this queen now. Shrugging Tana's hand off, Baldwin leaps over the bush while unsheathing his sword, and with a roar of hate in his voice, he yells,
"You all die now!"
Okay. Well, I think that's going to end it for today. It's nice to see that Talon is back in Baldwin's life. There's plenty much more of the story to come, but it is quite warm in the scholar's office. And with other jobs being required of my duties here in the hamlet, not to mention keeping up on the farm, helping the unicorn around, I don't know when we'll get to the next part, but hopefully when we do, it'll be much more cooler. Until then, you stay safe.